record it, drop, you can't ignore it. I'm transforming now these cars and planes, I'm always boarding. Just out touring down in Charlotte like I play for Hornets.
What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? This is the TFG Sports Show, the best 30-minute sports talk show on social media. I am your host, the sports guy, Kendrick. I hope you all are having a great start to your weekend. It's a little gloomy and cloudy outside, but that's okay. We still going to have a great time anyway. A lot of people are on spring break, starting their spring break, so they'll be off next week. So we're going to have a little fun in here. We're going to chat a little taste about some of the hot sports topics that was in the news this past week. So I hope everyone is having a great start to your weekend. Now, make sure you come in, hit that like button, hit that share button as well. And most importantly, make sure you comment. Let me know you in the house so we can chat a little bit. We can talk about the sports world and get your opinions, get your takes on some of our hot takes for today. So make sure you come in, comment, talk to me. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. That's TFG Sports Media on YouTube. And make sure you like and follow TFG Sports Media on Facebook. And do me a solid as well. Subscribe to my personal YouTube channel. That's Kendrick Sports Hustle. That's SPORTZHUSTLE. And make sure you subscribe and like and share that as well. So we're going to jump right in this thing because we got a lot to talk about. We're going to go ahead and jump into our sports quick hits. Our first quick hit, we're talking NFL. Franchise deadline came and went this past Tuesday. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, but we're going to talk about one of the quarterback free agent signings. And it's not Aaron Rodgers being traded to the Jets, which I think is going to happen. But we're talking about former Raiders quarterback Derek Carr. He signed a 4-year, basically $160 million deal with the New Orleans Saints. $80 million of that is guaranteed. If you recall and remember, Carr was released from the Las Vegas Raiders on February 14th. And the Saints were one of 3 teams that Derek Carr visited with. He also visited with the Carolina Panthers and the New York Jets. We're going to talk about the Panthers here in a second. They pulled off something on yesterday. The 31-year-old quarterback, Derek Carr, reunites with his former Raiders coach, Dennis Allen. So again, quick hit number one, quarterback Derek Carr, free agent quarterback. He was released from the Raiders. He is now the new Saints quarterback, which that now means probably that Jameis Winston is going to have to take a pay cut or he may be released. Let me see who I got. I saw, hey, what's up, Charles Moore? What's going on, my brother? Thanks for dropping in. Appreciate you coming in. And I want to say congratulations on your deal that you went to last night. If y'all don't know, Charles Moore he's a pretty good comedian. He had a show last night and he did pretty well. So, man, keep it up, man. I know you got it in you. So congratulations again to you. I hope this is the beginning of something big for you, brother. I know you got it. So again, congratulations to you and thanks for dropping in this morning. So that was our quick hit number one. We're talking about let me see what Charles says. He says, Winston better not take a pay cut. Well, if you probably want to stay with the Saints, he's probably going to have to, or he's probably going to be released because, you know, they can find that. They can find that a dime a dozen. Oh, most definitely. You know, no doubt, my brother. No doubt. That's what we do. We support one another in all our endeavors. So, yeah, brother, proud of you, man. Keep doing your thing. So, but anyway, Jameis Winston, we'll see what happens with that. Now, a quick hit number two. Again, I just mentioned Tuesday was NFL franchise tag deadline, and here's some of the notable names that got tagged. Cowboys running back Tony Pollard, $10.09 million. That's a 1-year. That's a 1-year contract. They still got time to work out a long-term deal. That's when you talk about franchise tag. So you get the average salary of the 5 top paid at your position. They average that, and that's what the franchise salary is for that 1 year. So Tony Pollard was franchise tagged, $10.09 million. The Raiders franchise, they running back as well. Josh Jacobs, same amount, $10.09 million for the season. Giants running back Saquon Barkley, he was franchise tagged as well, $10.091 million. The Jags franchise tagged their tight end Evan Ingram, $11.345 million for the year, and a defensive tackle for the Commanders, Darren Payne, he was franchise tagged at $18.937 million. Now, the one thing that everybody's been talking about is the Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson. The Ravens decided to put the non-exclusive franchise tag on him, which that means is he can negotiate with other teams to try to get a long-term contract. Now, the non-exclusive tag is $32 million this season that the Ravens will have to pay Lamar Jackson. But the deal is, if Lamar Jackson, and he's his own agent, I think his mom helps him with that as well. If he's able to get a long-term contract with another team, then that team will have to give the Ravens 2 first-round picks as compensation for signing him. And also the Ravens have the right to match. If the Jackson finds a team that wants to give him that long-term money that he's looking for that guaranteed money in the Deshaun Watson range. Obviously, that's $250 million guaranteed. He's looking for a little bit more than that. The Ravens will have to match that. Now, this is turned into a real sticky situation because the Ravens really basically said that, yeah, we like you, but we ain't willing to commit to you. That's basically what they did. So that kind of is probably going to have some hurt feelings. You know what I mean? That's going to it's kind of making it seem like, Lamar Jackson's probably feeling some type of way at this point. Because, let's be honest, you got 3 quarterbacks that's already gotten guaranteed money, and a lot of it. We're talking Deshaun Watson, we're talking Russell Wilson, and we're talking Kyler Murray. And, Lamar Jackson, you look at his resume, he was an NFL MVP 2019. He's been balling. He's taken this team. He's a winner. I think his record as a starter is 46-19. So he has a winning record as a starter as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Charles says, I smell collusion. The teams are coming together to make sure he's not going to get the guaranteed money he wants. And I've read that somewhere else, Charles. Someone else has said that too. And that could be it because they don't want to be paying this big time guaranteed money that all these other quarterbacks have already gotten. So it could be. But how can you prove it? That's the thing. Can you prove that they collude, or is it just all fair in love and war? That's part of negotiating. So we're gonna see what happens. I think the Ravens are playing. I think they're playing themselves, in my opinion, because it's kind of hard to find a great quarterback, a good quarterback at that position. And if it's all about you don't want to pay that guaranteed money, you're gonna eventually pay. You might not pay now, but eventually you're going to have to pay because quarterback salaries are going up and they're not coming down. And the market is going to say, if you want to keep a starting quarterback, you're going to have to pay. You're going to have to pay to play, as they say. So we're going to keep our eye on that and see what happens with that. And then the NFL, they open for business. Their league business actually starts on this coming Wednesday. So you're going to see a whole lot of signings with free agents and all that stuff going on as well. Now, our third quick hit, and we're going to move on. Syracuse Orangeman head coach Jim Boeheim has stepped down after 47 seasons at the school. He won 1 national title in 2003 with Carmelo Anthony as one of the freshman phenom. He had Hakeem Ward on that team as well. Boeheim went to 5 Final Four appearances. His record as a head coach, 1,015 wins, 441 losses. Now, that does not include the 101 wins that he had to vacate by the NCAA back in 2015. It was some shenanigans going on at Syracuse that wasn't a real good look. In the Big East, Syracuse moved to the ACC, I believe, in 2012. But in the Big East, he won 10 regular season titles, 5 Big East tournaments. So again, after 47 seasons at his alma mater, Jim Boeheim is done and he has retired. Speaking of another coach that's done, but not because he retired, Georgetown Hoyas did fire Patrick Ewing after 6 seasons. He pretty much he took the team to 1 NCAA tournament. He had pretty much his seasons just didn't work out. He had a 30-game losing streak at one point in the Big East. He was finally able to break that in January. So again, the Georgetown Hoyas fired. He was a Georgetown Hoya his career. He brought a national title there in 1984, but they fired their own. They fired Patrick Ewing on Thursday. All right, so we're going to move on to our first topic. Let's go ahead and jump into this thing real quick. We're going to talk the latest on Memphis Grizzlies, Ja Morant. Yeah, that's been the talk all over all over the news. And real quick, I got to add this too in my quick hit. I forgot about the Bears. The Bears did trade that they were able to find a trade partner for that 2023, their number 1 draft choice this season. They did a deal with the Panthers. The Panthers are going to send them 4 draft the Bears 4 draft picks and wide receiver DJ Moore. Again, the Bears get the Panthers number 9 pick in this year's draft. They also get the 2nd round pick in this year's draft, and the 2024 first round pick and the 2025 2nd round pick as well. So the Bears were able to trade out that first spot. That's basically saying that they're going to stick with Justin Fields. The Panthers now has the number 1 pick, and it's either going to probably be, people saying it's going to be, it could be the kid from Kentucky, Will Revis, I believe is his name. They said he had a pretty good combine, but it's going to be C.J. Stroud or former Heisman Trophy winner out of Alabama. Is probably going to end up going to the Panthers. So we'll see. Bryce Young, I couldn't remember his name, so we'll see what happens with that. Now, the latest on Memphis Grizzlies, Ja Morant. Now, he's missed a few games. This all started last Saturday when he posted a live Instagram to his he went live on his Instagram in a club in Denver. And as you can see in this still photo, he was brandishing a gun. Not a good look. The NBA got a hold of this video. They are still investigating it right now. But this was not a good look. Now, according to a report from fadeaway.world.net, Morant could be looking at a suspension of up to 50 games. Allegedly, Ja Morant brought the gun on the Grizzlies plane to Denver. We don't know. That hasn't been confirmed. That's an out-of-state resident in possession of a gun. But we do know that the Glendale, Colorado Police Department they didn't investigate it. They won't even try to, no charges were filed. The investigation, they say they did not have enough evidence to charge Ja Morant with anything as far as with him brandishing his gun inside that club that night. They didn't get any complaints from the club or anything. So as far as Glendale Police Department in Colorado goes, there's no case. He won't be investigated. Charges have been dropped. Now, during the CBA collective bargaining agreement states that whenever players traveling on any NBA facility or plane or any related business, as such, players shall not possess a firearm of any kind, and that's a violation of Section 9 and Section 9.6, subject to player discipline by the NBA in accordance with such article. So again, he's not out the dark yet. Now, the Grizzlies actually, I don't know if they suspended him, but they told him stay away from the team for 2 days. They did say that after this happened. Now, he has missed 4 games since then, and he's scheduled to miss 2 more games. He's not scheduled to come back until March the 16th, I believe, when they have a game, and that's when he's scheduled to come back. Now, he did step away, and he did make a statement after all this went down. Ja Morant said in a statement, he says he takes full responsibilities for his actions. And he apologized to his family, his teammates and coaches, fans, partners, the city of Memphis, and the entire Grizzlies organization for letting you down. I'm going to take some time away to get help and work on learning better methods of dealing with stress. And that was a statement that Ja Morant made after this went down. My whole take on this, sports opinionists have been all over the airwaves saying what they think. Some have went in on him. Some have said, don't be so hard on the kid. He's 23. My whole thing is he's 23 and he's a grown man. He got grown man responsibilities. At this point, nobody made you or forced you to go live and click that live button to go live in the strip club. And then especially after you lost. You lost the game in Denver, a team that you're chasing, and you at the nightclub that night up to 5 a.m, and then you got a gun with you. At some point, you gotta take responsibility for your own actions. And at this point, Ja Morant, he's showing that he's irresponsible. If you're a leader, if you're gonna be a star, if you're gonna be all this brand ambassadors, you gotta, that's a responsibility that you have to take responsibly and not take it lightly. Again, we all did stupid stuff at 23. I get that. but not showing guns on social media, you're a star player. And then another report just came out on TMZ that back in September, allegedly his sister called him to the school because somebody at the volleyball game called her a B, and he rolled up there with his crew, and supposedly they were knocking phones out of adults' hand, and he confronted someone as long as well as his mom and his dad. They all confronted a high school student. This is a report that came out on TMG Sports 2 days ago, as well as the report that he brandished a gun and hit a 17-year-old in the face in a pickup basketball game at his apartment, at his house. And another report, he supposedly, allegedly confronted a security guard at the mall, him and his crew. And another report of his crew allegedly pointed a laser at the Indiana Pacers bus. So you get all these stories, man, and it's not a good look for Ja Morant. And my thing is his dad, T. Morant. You got to stop trying to be his friend, man, to be his pops. At this point, what type of advice are you giving your son? I mean, look at this. This isn't a good look at all. So I don't want to see the kid, man. He got so much potential. He got a lot going on for himself right now. But somebody got to pull his coattail. He got to have somebody in his crew or somebody that say, hey, look, man, we can't jeopardize your future. We can't put you into situations where you making crazy decisions, and that's what he's doing right now. So the latest is he's away from the team. He said he's getting help. What that type of help is, I don't know. Is he getting rehab? Is it alcohol rehab or whatever? He didn't say. But I want the young brother to get himself together. But also, you got to call a spade a spade. He messing up, man. At this point, you can't keep coddling him, and you got to tell him what's real. And what's real right now is he's in jeopardy of losing a whole lot if he don't get his act together and maybe get away from some of those that may not have his best interests at heart. And it could be his family. It could, sometimes it's your own family that don't even have your best interests at heart. It could be his pops and his mom. Sometimes you gotta separate yourself from that if it's not putting you in a good light. So my thing is I hope Ja Morant gets himself together. We wishing him well, but I'm gonna call a spade, man. He messing up. So we're gonna see what happens from here on out. So let's move on to our next topic. We're gonna hit another one. And Texas Tech men's basketball coach Mark Adams steps down. Yeah, I don't know if you saw this. I did something on this on TFG Sports Media. Adams was originally suspended on Sunday ahead of the Big 12 conference tournament because of something he said to one of his players. Now, according to this report, Coach Adams cited a Bible verse that included a reference to slaves serving their masters. Basically, he was trying to motivate his players, but he started quoting this Bible verse saying that slaves serving their masters. I don't know what type of motivation that you are trying to give your player, but to quote to choose a Bible verse that's talking about slaves serving their masters, and your player is of color, a black, and you're a white man, I don't see how you can figure that was a great motivational tool to use. And Adams confirmed he said it. He stood 10 toes down on it, and that he did not apologize for what he said. He addressed the team about it, and he didn't apologize for what he said because he said that I was quoting the scripture. That just shows you how some of these coaches are tone deaf, are very, very tone deaf. And why are we bringing religion into this this equation at this point anyway? You don't know what religion that young man he practices, or if he practices any at all. So, and then to use the slave serving their master scripture, even though we do know that there were slaves in the Bible, we all know that. But at the end of the day, we're talking basketball here. We're not talking about and you trying to motivate your player. If I was a player on that team, now the particular player that he said this to didn't address it to him, he went to an assistant coach and told that assistant coach that he wasn't real happy about what Coach Adams said to him. So University of Texas Tech did suspend him, but day or so after that, after his suspension, he decided to step down because at this point, I think who would want to play for him? A couple of players already said they're entering the transfer portal, and that's a wrap for him at Texas Tech. So I think a lot of these coaches is just tone deaf, man. I don't understand what he was thinking. Now, this is only his second season at Texas Tech. He was on Chris Beard's staff. If you know, Chris Beard went to UT Austin after he done a great job at Texas Tech. He was let go from UT Austin because of a domestic violence situation, yada, yada, yada. But he was on his staff there, and he had been at Texas Tech for 2012. This was Adams' second season, and the Raiders were only 16-15. And this season, in their first season, he took over after Beard. He actually he took them to the Sweet 16, I believe, the first season. They had a pretty good record. They didn't do so well this year. So again, Texas Tech men's basketball coach Mark Adams decides to step down after all the heat that he was getting for that slaves serving their masters comment to a player. And he also, according to the report, he also actually spit in a player's face as well, according to a couple in one game. And he just said that, according to the report, that he had been dealing with a cough, but then when they asked him about the spit, he said, yeah, I spit in his face and I would do it again. Now, I don't know if that was investigated as well, but that was reported too, that he spit in one of his players' face and did not apologize for it. So, again, all I can say is good riddance. I'm glad he is out of Texas Tech. We don't need that type of mentality in NCAA college coach or in the professional level as well. So all I can say is good riddance to Mark Adams. Now let's move on to our next one. We're going to stay in basketball. NCAA men's tournament. Matter of fact, we got conference tournaments going on today, a whole lot of them, and I will run down the list once we get to that. We got a lot of conference tournaments going on, but it's time for March Madness. It's time to get those brackets. And guess what, guys? I'll be honest with you. I hadn't really, after my North Carolina Tar Heels, they had a season that was just pretty much trash. I really didn't even have a lot of luster for this tournament right now. But I'm getting my hype back up. I'm getting my hype back up because, you know, March Madness is always a great tournament. Now that it's so much parity now, you know, I think this is going to be one of those years where I wouldn't be surprised to see a 15 seed make it to the Final Four because there's so much parity. So much, you know, the it's not, you don't have those Goliaths, in my opinion, in NCAA men's tournament anymore because of the parity. The one and done definitely changed it, but now the transfer portal has definitely made it a different game too. Now ESPN's Joe Lunardi, he's already came out with his top 4 number 1 seeds. He said he has Kansas as an overall top seed, which Kansas will play Texas tonight in the Big 12 championship. That's going down tonight. I'll give you the time on that in just a second. But Kansas is his overall seed. This is Joe Lunardi for ESPN. And he has Alabama, Houston, and UCLA as his other number 1 seeds. Again, ESPN's Joe Lunardi has Kansas, Alabama, Houston, and UCLA as his number 1 seeds. Now, again, the NCAA selection show will happen tomorrow evening around 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. So we will know exactly when, but this is just his pick on who is going to be the number 1 seeds. He has Utah State as the first team out, and he has Penn State as the last team in. Now on the bubble, last 4 in, according to Joe Lunardi, Mississippi State, Nevada, Wisconsin, and Penn State. He has as his last 4 teams to make it into the tournament. And his first 4 teams out, Utah State, again, Clemson, Oklahoma State, and Arizona State. And then after that, his next 4 out, he has Michigan, which I think they're out. North Carolina, they're pretty much out. Vanderbilt, they still in it. They got a shot. And Oregon, those are his next 4 out. And a breakdown by conference, who he thinks how many teams is going to get in for the tournament. Big 10, he thinks 10 teams are going to get in. The SEC will have 8. The Big 12, 7. The ACC, 5. The Big East, 5. And the Pac-12, 3. the Mountain West 3, the Western Conference 2, and the American Conference 2 as well. So again, these are all predictions by ESPN's Joe Lunardi. Now, Clark Kellogg, who's a college basketball analyst and connoisseur, I really like watching him during the NCAA tournament. He's leaning toward the more older teams to watch out for in this tournament. Those that has juniors and seniors that's been there for a while, as well as those that's gotten transfers. And he says the portal has changed the game, like I just said before, where you're getting a little bit more experienced players moving on to teams that are experienced. So I think that he has a point. So he's saying look out for the more older teams, the more seasoned teams to probably make a longer run in this tournament. Clark Kellogg's teams, he picks Houston, Kansas, Gonzaga, Alabama, and then he has UCLA next coming up with that. So again, March Madness is upon us. We got conference tournaments going on all day today. Matter of fact, we got some that's already kicked off in the SEC tournament. We got number 25, Mizzou, and number 4, Alabama. They are already playing on ESPN. That's a semifinal game. We got Ohio State out of the Big Ten at number 5, Purdue. They're playing right now on CBS. Then we got Cincinnati at number 1 in the country, the Houston Cougs. They tip off at 2 p.m. on ESPN2. That's a semifinal matchup. Then we got Vanderbilt out of the SEC at number 18, Texas A&M. That tips off at 2 p.m. on ESPN. That's a semifinal matchup as well. Again, we got the number 7 Texas Longhorns at number 3 Kansas. They're playing the Big 12 championship, the conference championships in Kansas City. We got number 7 Texas at number 3 Kansas. That's at 5 p.m. on ESPN, and that is the championship game for the Big 12. And we got number 21 Duke at number 13 Virginia, 7:30 p.m. on ESPN. That's the ACC championship game. And then we got number 8 Arizona at number 2 UCLA. That's a late game, 9:30 p.m. on ESPN. That's the Pac-12 championship as well. Now, Bama, they really talk a lot about this. You know, their former player Darius Miles was actually indicted, he and Michael Lynn Davis, on yesterday for capital murder of the death of that young lady that happened back in January. And Brandon Miller, who has been Alabama's main guy, was the guy that actually brought Darius Miles, his ex-teammate, the gun. But he's not been charged with anything yet. But that's just kind of been a dark cloud hanging over the Alabama basketball team ever since that went down. So we'll see how Alabama handles the pressure, because they're going to be under a lot of pressure. Again, they've had that dark cloud with their former teammate, Darius Miles, being involved in that horrific murder of that young lady back in January. So we'll see what Bama, where their heads at. Can they stay focused and focus on the deal at hand? We'll see about that. And again, we got a lot going on. Again, the NCAA selection show, where we'll know where everybody is going, where they'll be seated, what region they'll be playing in. That all goes down tomorrow at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time on ESPN. They will have their selection show, as well as CBS will have their selection show as well. So that is all we got. That is the sports wrap for today. I want to thank Charles Moore for dropping in and giving me a shout out. Again, congratulations to him on his new endeavor. I believe you got what it takes, brother. Just stick with it, and the sky's the limit. So I want to thank Charles for dropping in. Anybody that watch this later, make sure you comment leave a comment in the section. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. That's TFG Sports Media on YouTube. Make sure you like and follow TFG Sports Media on Facebook. And do me a solid again. Make sure you subscribe to my personal YouTube channel, Kendrick Sports Hustle. That's SportzHustle. Make sure you subscribe to that on YouTube, and make sure you like and follow it on Facebook as well. Now, before I get out of here, I have to give a special shout out to my daughter. Today is a very special day for her. It is her 28th day around the sun. So I want to wish my daughter, my only daughter — I have 2 sons and 1 daughter, and she's in the middle — I want to wish Candace, a.k.a. Pumpkin, my baby girl, your pops want to wish you a happy born day on today. And I wish you the best, and I hope your day is blessed, not stressed, and don't turn up too much. Well, actually, you grown. Just do what it do. But again, I want to just your pops want to say happy born day. Love you much. And again, be safe and enjoy your day. So again, I want to thank everybody that watched Charles Moore. Anybody that watches this later, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. And enjoy some of this good old basketball. So until next Saturday, I'm your sports guy, Kendrick. We will see you on the other side. I'm out. Deuces.
I press the button and the doors go up. Whoa, that money clip us now, the new now looks like. Whoa, upgrade her diamonds, now her girlfriends are like. Whoa, 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 whoa. I hit record it, drop, you can't ignore it. I'm transforming now these cars and planes, I'm always boarding. Just out touring down in Charlotte like I play for Hornets. When I'm performing, never boring, now you can't afford it.